We often give up a lot for people we love. We care deeply for them, but sometimes they let us down. It's an experience not unique to any one person, but rather a common thread woven into the fabric of human relationships. We find ourselves making sacrifices, big and small, for those we hold dear. The late-night phone calls to soothe a troubled mind, the missed opportunities because we put their needs before our own, the way we adjust our dreams to accommodate their desires. Yet, there are moments when we feel underappreciated, taken for granted, or worse, manipulated. When the ones we've extended our hearts to exploit our good nature for their own benefit. They're all sweet smiles when they need us, but once they've taken what they want, they're off, as swift as a bird taking flight. It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? But how can you turn this around and be in charge? Simply avoid these 9 actions and you'll quickly see a difference. Number 1, don't change your life just to match someone else's. Wise words from the Stoic philosopher Seneca come to mind. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. It's a reminder not to shape your life around another's blueprint, but to continuously learn and grow in your own individuality. Imagine this. You're a jazz enthusiast, but your new partner prefers rock. To please them, you start swapping out Coltrane for Cobain, even though every electric guitar riff grates on your nerves. In essence, you're compromising your own happiness for someone else's. This might seem like a small sacrifice, but it's these little concessions that over time can erode your sense of self. Remember, it's crucial to maintain your own interests, values, and goals in a relationship. Your individuality isn't a bargaining chip. It's the essence of who you are. You are not a mirror. Reflect not what others expect, but your own image. Number 2, avoid being too available. Let's turn to the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, who said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Now imagine this scenario. You're always available for your partner no matter what. You drop everything at the drop of a hat, always ready to be at their beck and call. This constant availability might seem like a demonstration of your dedication and love, but it can lead to an unhealthy dynamic. It might lead your partner to take your time for granted, and it can also exhaust and devalue you. It's essential to remember that your time is as valuable as theirs. It's okay to say no sometimes, to have other commitments, to have time for yourself. After all, being too available might not only diminish your value in their eyes, but might also leave you feeling unfulfilled and drained. Your time is the one thing you can't get back. Use it wisely. Number 3, don't ignore red flags. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." It's crucial to remain vigilant and heed any warning signs that present themselves in a relationship. Imagine a scenario where your partner consistently cancels plans at the last minute, showing a lack of respect for your time. You might be tempted to shrug it off, thinking it's just a phase or they're just too busy. But this is a red flag, signaling a deeper issue of disregard for your feelings and priorities. Ignoring such signs can lead to more profound disappointments down the line. It's not about being judgmental, but about preserving your own peace and dignity. Remember, in the grand scheme of things, your well-being takes precedence. The red flags you ignore today will be the reasons you leave tomorrow. Number 4, never lose your identity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." In the hustle and bustle of modern relationships, it's all too easy to get swept up in the whirlwind of love and lose sight of who you really are. You might find yourself slipping into a mold, changing your habits, views, or even values to fit into someone else's world. A relationship should never ask you to compromise your identity. You are not a chameleon, changing colors to blend in with your partner's landscape. You are unique, with your own landscape rich in colors that should not be dimmed. Remember, a relationship is a union of 2 distinct individuals, not a merger. It's about complementing each other, not becoming a mere reflection of your partner. Your identity is your most valuable possession. Protect it. Number 5, don't make someone your everything. In the Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This means that our well-being should not hinge upon someone else's presence or absence in our lives. It's like handing over the steering wheel of your life to someone else. Imagine this. You've met someone fantastic. They're charming, attractive, everything you've ever dreamt of. You're smitten, and before you know it, they've become your world. Your happiness is tied to their actions, their words, their moods. But what happens when they're not around? What happens when they're having a bad day? Your happiness should not be at the mercy of someone else's whims. Remember, it's great to love and to be loved, but it's equally important to maintain your independence. You should be your own source of happiness and fulfillment. You are your own universe. Don't let anyone else become your sun. Number 6. Don't let others define your worth. Let's take a moment to reflect on the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This rings especially true in relationships. Picture this: your partner makes a comment about your job, perhaps suggesting it's not as prestigious as theirs. Suddenly you find yourself questioning your value. Your self-esteem takes a hit. But hold on, why should their opinion dictate how you see yourself? The truth is, it shouldn't. Your worth is not a reflection of what others perceive you to be. It's not determined by your job, your relationship status, or the number of zeros on your paycheck. Your worth is inherent, it's unique, it's untouchable. Remember, the only person who has the power to define your worth is you. Your worth is not determined by someone's inability to see your value. Number 7, don't ignore your needs. Let's turn to the wisdom of the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "If you neglect your health, your wealth will go with it." Picture this. You're head over heels for someone, so much so that you're skipping meals, losing sleep, and neglecting your hobbies just to keep them happy. You're giving everything, but in the process, you're losing yourself. This is not the path to a fulfilling relationship or a satisfying life. You see, you're not a bottomless well of resources. You need to replenish, to rest, to re-energize. Your needs for food, sleep, solitude, recreation are not luxuries, they're necessities. If you keep ignoring them, you'll soon find yourself running on empty, unable to offer anything to anyone, including yourself. Remember, it's not selfish to take care of yourself, it's essential. So, the next time you're tempted to put someone else's needs above your own, stop, take a breath, take care of you. Your needs matter. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Number 8, never tolerate disrespect. We turn to the wisdom of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, who said, "A person's worth is measured by the worth of what he values." This is a reminder that self-respect is a reflection of what we value about ourselves. Let's paint a modern scenario. Imagine you're in a relationship where your partner consistently belittles your interests, treats you as an afterthought, or dismisses your feelings. It can be subtle, like a sarcastic comment about your career choices, or blatant, like ignoring you when you express your needs. Remember, tolerating such behavior chips away at your self-esteem. It's like a small leak in a boat that gradually fills it with water, eventually causing it to sink. Stand firm, voice out when you're disrespected. And if it persists, don't be afraid to step away. Because, just as a boat is meant to sail, not sink, you are meant to thrive, not merely survive. Respect is not negotiable, it's a requirement. Number 9, don't forget your friends. Remember the wise words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who once said, "Friends show their love in times of trouble, not in happiness." It's easy to become consumed by a new relationship, letting it take center stage in your life. We've all seen it happen, or maybe even experienced it ourselves. Consider you're a jovial guy, always surrounded by your mates. Then you met this pretty lady, and suddenly your friends saw less and less of you. You were constantly with this, disregarding your friends' invites, their calls, their messages. Yes, love is beautiful, invigorating, but it doesn't have to be all-consuming. Your friends never stopped caring about you, but they felt pushed aside, taken for granted. When you and the lady's relationship hit a rough patch, you found yourself feeling alone, realizing you had neglected those who had always been there for you. Your friends were there before, and they'll be there after. Don't take them for granted. From a Stoic point of view, it's important to remember that you have control over your own choices, and that living in harmony with who you truly are is key. Stoics like Epictetus taught us that our happiness and peace come from within, not from what happens around us or from others' approval. You are strong and wise enough to make decisions that are right for you, even if they don't match what others want. As you go through life, focus on growing your own good qualities, like wisdom, courage, fairness, and self-control. These are what make life truly fulfilling, not how well you fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. Remember, you have the freedom to choose your own path, to embrace your uniqueness, and to create your own story based on your values and beliefs. You don't have to give up your integrity or sacrifice your well-being for others. Instead, take charge of your life by making choices that reflect who you really are. The Stoics believed that real freedom comes from understanding that we control our thoughts and actions. So, when you feel pressured to go along with something you're not comfortable with, remember that you can choose differently. You're not bound to follow someone else's plan for your life. You have the right to create your own, based on what matters most to you. It's time to make a change. Start now by deciding to stop doing things that don't feel right to you and commit to being the best version of yourself, no matter what. Remember, you are in charge of your own life. Don't let anyone else take the wheel. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel for straightforward and honest advice every day, and watch the next video. Until next time.